His courtroom drama kicks off with a bang: one landlord, one tenant, and a verbal agreement that's crumbling fast. Meet Lori Wallers, a frustrated landlord trying to get her property back. And Jean Schmucker, a tenant who claims she's being wrongfully evicted while still paying rent. Sounds simple. It's not. Things escalate quickly when the judge confronts missing leases, illegal shutoffs, and a case nearly sabotaged by the landlord accepting rent after serving a notice to quit. But that's just the start. Tensions flare. A mother gets threatened with contempt of court, and the whole case hinges on one key legal mistake. You won't believe how this judge handles it. Stay locked in, because what starts as a rent dispute explodes into a full-blown legal mess that might leave both parties with nothing.
For that, I'm sorry for both of you.
I just don't feel, Your Honor, that's very fair, being I'm her mom, and I'm paying $340.
Fucking Kayla Jean Smucker.
Mom.
You should sit down and shut up. You're in a court proceeding. It's live. It's being broadcast to people, and I don't need Judge Middleton. We are live on Zoom, on YouTube, and we are recording. This is a continuation of the matter of Lori Ann Wallers versus Kayla Jean Schmucker. Both parties are here by Zoom. Also present is Meg Bauer from Western Michigan Legal Services. We were here on October 9th, and Lori Wallers was here, and Meg Bauer was here, and Ms. Schmucker was here. This was filed as a termination of tenancy matter. Ms. Wallers is renting the house to Ms. Schmucker and her family, and Ms. Schmucker is building a house and waiting to get out and get into her house. So this was filed as a demand for non-payment of rent, and there was a representation that Ms. Wallers was filed as a termination of tenancy, that Ms. Wallers was actually collecting rent. In the letter dated October 11th from Ms. Schmucker, have you received a copy of that, Ms. Wallers?
No.
She should have sent it.
Hold up. Did the tenant just claim the landlord tried to cut off power and water to force her out? That's a direct violation of the lockout law, which protects tenants from being evicted without a formal court order. It doesn't matter. If there's no written lease, once someone is paying rent and living there, they've got rights. The real twist here: even if the landlord wins the case, any form of self-help eviction could backfire hard. Shutting off utilities to make someone leave isn't just shady, it's potentially illegal. Question for you: if someone refused to leave your house but still paid rent, would you try to cut the power too? Let us know in the comments.
If it was just Ms. Schmucker and legal aid, or everyone was in the breakout room. But as I indicated, Ms. Wallers, when you file a notice for termination of tenancy, there's a case called Park Forest, which says you can't accept rent in a termination of tenancy, or it is a premise that you intend to continue the lease. Ms. Schmucker, does that pretty much set out your position in this?
Yes.
Ms. Wallers, what's your response?
So the verbal agreement was not till her house was done. Well, it kind of was, but she said her house was going to be done in she said 9 months. She wasn't supposed to be there this long. And she's only paid up till September because she told me that she lives somewhere and then pays rent. So the rent was due on the 1st. So she's actually been a month behind the whole time.
Ms. Bauer, you have any thoughts on this?
Now things are really unraveling. The judge and legal aid both agreed the landlord messed up by continuing to accept rent after serving the notice to quit. Why is that such a big deal? Because in legal terms, accepting rent means you're continuing the lease even if you verbally said otherwise. It contradicts your claim that the tenancy is over. This is where many landlords fumble. You can't have it both ways. Serve a termination notice and collect rent. That sends mixed legal signals. The court does not like mixed signals. Remember this moment. This is where the case likely slipped out of the landlord's hands.
I'm wrong, Judge.
I think so too. The notice to quit was filed June 28th. The complaint to recover possession of the property was filed August 11th, and the plaintiff has continued to collect rent after those dates. Miss Wallers.
Neither of us knew. Yep. Yes, sir, Your Honor.
You're in a difficult spot. I read your earlier letter about why you want to get back into this house. And this thing is flawed from the beginning. You have no lease. You have an agreement that she was going to be there for a couple of months. Now it's 9 months. You want your house back. She doesn't want to move because her house isn't done. And she has a colorable lease. You were golden until you accepted any money. Now, I haven't made a finding regarding the lockout law. You can't shut off her power, her utilities, her water, her cable TV. That violates.
I didn't do that, Your Honor.
Well, all right, I didn't make a finding that you did, but you accepted rent. Had you not accepted the rent, I would have given her 10 days from today to move out. But you undermined your whole case.
And just like that, the judge drops the bombshell. You undermined your whole case. That line should echo in every landlord's mind. Accepting rent post notice nullified Lori Waller's entire eviction effort. The irony, she had the upper hand until money entered the equation. But it's not all one-sided. Schmucker's been living there 9 months longer than expected with no lease in sight. This is a classic legal stalemate where good intentions and poor paperwork collide. Would you risk your entire eviction case over one rent payment? Sound off bellow, was the judge fair, or did Wallers deserve a second shot?
And not accept any money. Once they move out, you could sue her for money. But if she had done it right, you would have had 10 days from now to move.
Oh my God.
When is your house going to be done?
We're aiming for end of November.
Hey, the Gene Smucker.
But
Oh my God. He's not even going to give her 10 days to move out.
Miss Wallers,
Yeah, Your Honor.
who's with you?
Her mother.
My mom.
You should sit down and shut up. You're in a court proceeding. It's live. It's being broadcast to people, and I don't need your editorial comment because your daughter doesn't understand the Landlord-Tenant Relationship Act or the law. So if you say anything else, I'm going to have a contempt hearing. So, Miss Wallers, you didn't know, and you're doing the best you can, but I can't just pluck something out of the air. As a practical matter, she may be out by the end of November, but I doubt it because nothing ever is done when they expect it to be done. So you may have to start over again. You can't have it both ways. You can't ask her to move and then collect rent from her.
Oh my
If you
God.
filed it
I know
as a
that now.
demand, yes, if you filed it as a demand for non-payment of rent, you could accept the rent. You live in Sturgis. Now, you can certainly do this yourself, but there are a number of attorneys in Sturgis, Mr. Bush, Mr. Thornton, Mr. Reed, Mr. George, who do landlord-tenant law, who could help you with this for not a lot of money. But Miss Schmucker, you should plan to be out of there. You don't have a lease, and you're staying there as a source of great irritation to her. However, to your credit, you've continued to pay the rent. So I'll leave it, Miss Wallers. If you wish to continue to accept the rent and hope she moves by the end of November, you can do that. But if you wish to terminate her tenancy, you can't accept any money. So the matter is dismissed without prejudice. I'll do an order.
Wow. Fucking Kayla Jean Smucker.
Ma'am, Miss Wallers,
Yes,
hear
Your
me?
Honor. Yeah.
I'm going to file a petition for your mother to come in here into court and show cause why she should not be found in contempt for cursing in my courtroom and expressing her displeasure at my ruling, which happens to comply with the law. Ma'am, can you hear
I
me?
apologize. I thought you guys were done. I'm sorry.
We're not done, and you and I are not done either.
I thought they would close it out.
You're gonna come to the courthouse, and you and I are gonna have a little face-to-face discussion. And you may be found in contempt with a potential jail sentence or other sanction.
Wow, this courtroom just went nuclear. The judge isn't just scolding the mother, he's threatening contempt charges and possible jail time for cursing during a live proceeding. And yes, this is all happening over Zoom. What's important here isn't just the outburst, it's how seriously courts take courtroom decorum. It doesn't matter if you're frustrated, or even if you think the ruling is unfair. Lose control, and you could face serious legal consequences even if you're not the one on trial. This is no longer about rent. This is about respect, law, and authority. Would you hold someone in contempt for cursing during a live-streamed hearing? Comment below.
Options are to continue to accept the rent and hope that she moves. Or file an action to terminate the tenancy. In this case, but you undid your own case. So for that, I'm sorry for both of you.
I just don't feel, Your Honor, that's very fair, being that I'm her mom and I'm paying $344 of that house payment, and she pays $250 and he pays $250.
Well, I didn't
I just
say it
feel
was
like-
fair.
Yeah, I know
if it
it's
was-
not fair.
If it was fair, she'd move out and let you have
She
your
has
house
a
back.
dad. She has a dad that has an apartment in his basement that she could go to. She just don't want to.
All right.
Get a tissue.
So, what just happened here? In a courtroom showdown packed with tension, the landlord lost her eviction case not because she was legally wrong, but because she accepted rent after trying to terminate the tenancy. Meanwhile, the tenant walks away with more time in the house, but no legal right to stay. And let's not forget the mother's outburst, which could land her in hot water with a separate contempt charge. In the end, this case is a textbook example of how one small legal misstep can derail your entire claim. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns. You won't want to miss what we're covering next.